Welcome to Z's and Threes.
For three for the win. Yes!
And first and foremost, hook 'em horns. It is always a good day when you beat Texas A&M. And shout out to the gang, double overtime in the SEC tournament, hopefully booking their spot in March Madness. Let's talk NBA. LeBron-less Luka-led Lakers losing. The road swing continues to be unkind to the purple and gold tonight in Milwaukee in spite of a major scoring effort from Luka. Steph Curry making history as his team's win streak continues. Can the Pistons keep pace in the East race and the Magic finally find some offense? A sneak peek of episode 2 of the Signature Sneaker Showdown. Before we tip, if you like the show, please do like and subscribe. If you're listening on podcasts, go over to YouTube, like and subscribe, share with a friend, give us 5 stars to stay in the NBA. No, let's get it. Group chat. Game of the night, Lakers, Milwaukee Bucks. 2 teams fighting for playoff positioning, 2 teams fighting for championship contender form. The Lakers having to continue to go without LeBron left the team back in LA. 2 more games, including this one, part of a 5-game road swing. They are 0-2 thus far, the Lakers. Losses versus Boston, not bad there. And against Brooklyn, not so good there. Would they break the form tonight? Well, it started good for Luka, at least 29 points in the first half, including a ridiculous fadeaway 3 from the deep corner. The best first half of scoring basketball for a Laker since the late Kobe Bryant in 2009. Lakers, though, trailed by 8 at the break. It didn't get much better in the third. 31-19, the Bucks outscore them. The game was only competitive early, controlled by Milwaukee throughout. They led by 23, won by 20, 126-106. Bucks bench outscores the Lakers 45-20. 4 Bucks with 20-plus points, 24 for Giannis, 23 for Brook Lopez, 22 for Damian Lillard, 22 for Kevin Porter Jr. Luka offers up nearly half of his team's points. He drops 45 on 14-27 shooting. 7 made threes. Austin Reeves scores 28, but no other Laker scored more than 10 points. The Lakers slide continues without LeBron. Bucks get an important win in that 4-5-6 race. Count me in on the Bucks as more of a legitimate title contender than the Lakers, even with a healthy LeBron. First off, because the Bucks play in the East versus the Lakers playing in the stacked Western Conference. But the Lakers also continue to have an Anthony Davis-sized hole on their front line that, as big as Nico Harrison may think Luka is, he cannot fill. Update on how the result affects placement when we get to standings. Rest of the slate, 4 more games. With the Bucks win, what do the Pistons do to try to keep pace in the 4 race? They were hosting the Wizards. These are the games. Playoff hopefuls playing against cellar dwellers. The Wizards, the worst team in the league. That you got to be about your business from the jump and do it all the way through. Washington outscores Detroit by 7 in the second half. They take that lead to the lockers. Pistons snap back with a 12-plus point third quarter. 13 points from Cade Cunningham in that frame. Big night for him. In the fourth quarter, though, it was all Washington Wizards. They win the period 33-24. But it was the play of the overall number 2 pick, Alex Sarr, down the stretch that secured the W for the Wizards. He had a dunk with 53.6 left, putting Washington up 1. Then he had a block on Cunningham that was challenged. Ends up being called out of bounds off Cade, Washington possession. Pistons, though, force a miss. It's a long rebound that ends up in Cade's hands before it's poked out by Chris Middleton. 2 Bub Carrington free throw makes, push the Washington lead to 3. 10.4 left. All right, Pistons still have a chance. They get a look from 3. Tim Hardaway Jr., no dice. Free throws ice it. A horrible loss for the Pistons, 129-125. They gave up 129 to the Wizards. 7 Wizards with 14 or more points. Team high 19 for Alex Sarr. 38, 3, and 10 for Cunningham. But on a completely absurdly unethical 21 free throw attempts. He did make 20 of them. On the subject of horrible losses, a lot recently for the Orlando Magic. They are 1-6 over their last 7 coming into tonight. Bulls loss and 2 Raptors losses, part of those 6. They were on the road against the Pelicans. Pelicans have been scrappy as of late. Ask the Clippers. But tonight, the Magic, they play the reverse Uno card. They hold their opponent under the century mark with a 113-93 win. Magic, their calling card was defense early on to their success. Can they get back to it? They led by 36 at one point. Big reason was the effort of their scoring duo, Paolo Banchero, who had 34, 11, and 4, and Franz, what about your Franz Wagner, 27, 6, and 5. Still plenty of time for the Magic to find some playoff form, about 15 to 18 games left, but it will continue to be without Jalen Suggs, who it was reported last week when I was out of the country, he remaining out indefinitely. Bulls, they are a team that can make the playoffs. They're showing they want that 10th and final play-in spot, winners of 3 in a row going into the game Thursday night against the Nets. It was competitive, 11 lead changes, 10 ties, but it was the Bulls' finishing kick that got the job done. They were down 12 at the start of the fourth, but they win the last quarter 34-18 that included a 26-9 scoring run. Kobe White continues to ball out 31 points on a completely ethical 4 free throw attempts. 7 rebounds, 4 assists to go with that. He's had 44, 21, 29 to go along with the 31 across the Bulls' now 4-game win streak. Final game of the night, the battle for Northern California. Warriors hosting the Kings. 17-4 Kings run to close out the half, trimmed a 23-point Warriors lead to just 10 at the break. Steve Kerr didn't like it. Well, he would like the second half. The Warriors led the whole way on a night in which Steph Curry made his 4,000th career three-pointer, the only player in league history to have made 4,000. And Steve Kerr moved into a tie for the most coaching wins in Warriors franchise history. The final was 130-104. Light night for Curry, though. 11 points on 4 of 9 shooting, 2 of 6 from 3. Jonathan Kuminga made his return, dropped 18 on 7 of 10, and a team-high 23 from Draymond Green, which was his first time leading the team in scoring this season. The Warriors' win streak is at 6, tied with the Wolves for the longest win streak in the West. Standings update. The Warriors win moves them a half game ahead of the Wolves for that 6-7 split. Remember, the final guaranteed playoff spot is at that 6, so that race important. One more head-to-head between those two teams. The Kings' third loss in a row has them just 2 losses ahead of the Mavs in the 9-10 West race. And the Lakers now 2 wins behind both the Grizzlies and Nuggets. All 3 of them have 24 losses. That the race for 2, 3, 4, 5. In the East, the Bucks win elevates them a half game ahead of the Pacers and now a full game ahead of the Pistons due to their loss. Those 3 teams competing for the 4th and final playoff home series in the East. The Bulls' win streak has them closer to the Heat in 9th, a game and a half, than the Raptors in 11th. It is 5 games that distance. And Orlando, a game ahead of Miami, but 1.5 behind Atlanta in the 7-8-9 East battle. Heavy Pour, leading score of the night, presented by Portland Water. Visit them at drinkpdxwater.com. 45 from Luka Doncic in the losing effort. Dunk of the night, Matas Buzelis. He did not have the best showing in the dunk contest when everybody might have heard his name for the first time, but the young bull can yam. Performance of the night, well, he didn't score a ton of points, but his team won, but it was history. Steph Curry, never before have we seen 4,000, even if it is an arbitrary number. We as human beings like nice round numbers. 4,000 career three-pointers, that threshold crossed for Steph Curry. Do you think that we will ever see that record broken by another shooter? I don't think so. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. News items for the day. De'Aaron Fox, the King turned Spur, who's been battling a pinky injury on his left shooting hand, will shut it down for the season. Surgery to repair the tendon damage that was suffered in training camp. A full recovery is expected prior to the start of next season. The Spurs hoping that De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama can continue to develop that chemistry for their future. 62 games played, 23.5 points, 6.3 assists, and 4.8 rebounds for Fox in his 8th season. That included setting a Kings franchise record, 60 points, the only 60-point game we've had of the season. It happened against the Timberwolves. Bigger question, in the offseason, Fox is extension eligible. Do the Spurs and Fox and Clutch find an agreeable number? Speaking of agreeable numbers and big numbers, Paul George, he got the bag in the offseason from the Sixers, but not much ROI for the club. Just 41 games played, and it may remain at that. The Sixers sitting at 22-43, probably the biggest disappointment of the NBA season, with Embiid already shut down. The reporting is that George, quote, is consulting with doctors on treatment for his groin and knee injuries, end quote. What a bad year it's been for Paul George. A 15-year vet. He turns 35 in May. He's owed $51 million next season, 54 for the 26-27 season when he turns 37, and turning 38, a player option of $56 million. Good news for Jaden Ivey. A return to the Pistons this season is not out of the cards. You know how much I follow the Pistons. Broken left fibula sidelined him on January 1st. I think I was the only one outside of Pistons fans actually watching the Pistons on January 1st. I'm not a Pistons fan. I'm just a fan of what the Pistons are doing. After just 30 games played for Ivey, he is out of the walking boot. Will be reevaluated in 4 weeks, which would be right on the cusp of the playoffs starting. 17.6 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, and 4 assists prior to the injury. Bad news for Wizards wing Bilal Coulibaly. A hamstring injury sustained earlier in the week might shut him down for the remainder of the season. 12.3 points, 3.4 assists for the sophomore. House shoes, and I'm wearing one of each. The Jordan 39s and the Jokic 1s. Why am I doing that? Well, episode 2 of the Signature Sneaker Showdown is coming your way later today. On YouTube only, so if you're a podcast listener, go over to the YouTube channel, Z's and Threes NBA, to check out episode 1 and episode 2 after it drops. While you're there, give a like and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend if you like the show. We are in the Jordan bracket, the overall 1 seed in the tournament being Michael Jordan, because he is on his 39th signature shoe by Jordan Brand, against the Jokic 1s, his first signature shoe by 361. If you haven't checked out episode 1, you can find out everything you need to know about the tournament, who's in it, the 16 signature sneakers, who is playing who, and the grading scale as to who advances and wins and how they do such. You can also find out the winner of the first matchup between the Harden 9s and the LaMelo Ball 4s. So you will check that out later, because first, here's a preview of episode 2.
Well, my game may not be Mike's, but wow, these shoes make you feel like you could be Mike. They are light, they are comfortable, you can feel the cushioning, you can feel the air, you have so much movement in them.
Hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoy episode 2 of the Signature Sneaker Showdown. What to watch Friday? Well, Celtics, Heat, Miami struggling, but it's always good when those two franchises face off. Clippers, Hawks, should be fun just in watching 2 of the best floor generals in the game work. James Harden, Harden Volume 9s, or Trae Young, who plays in these Jordan 39s. Cavs, Grizzlies, Friday night. Best in the league against the second best in the West. And that West race, Lakers, Nuggets, the first of 2 games across the next week against those 2 foes. Episode 2, Signature Sneaker Showcase. Set your notifications, dropping later on Friday. If you miss anything, as always, Z's and 3s, we got you. Enjoy the weekend. We will see you back here come Monday. Peace.